things too. Some people carry zip ties. Zip ties are extremely light. You can pack a bunch of them. You can repair things really quick. Other people carry like volley straps, which are things that you can strap things to your pack or just strap. They work for first aid too if you have to make a splint out of a sleeping pad or something. So a repair kit. Then the next is fire. I always have a lighter in here. Sometimes I carry also waterproof matches, but not very often. I usually just have 2 lighters, one bigger one smaller one. Fire, and then the next is, so we're in the fishing, F-I-S-H-N. So fire, and then insulation. Insulation is gonna be your layers. So I'm gonna go through layers real quick. I keep all my layers in an Outdoor Research compression sack so it shrinks. I can cinch it up really, really tight, and it's also waterproof. This is a dry sack. And so basically you want to start from the feet up or the head down, and you want to go through all your equipment and make sure you've got all your proper layers. I use OR stuff because it's lifetime warranty. If this bag ever leaks, gets a rip in it, I can take it back to OR and get a brand new one. So, down puffy. This is a really light one. I personally would opt for multiple light layers rather than one giant fat puffy to keep me warm, because I'm usually either, sometimes in the alpine you're out and then the sun breaks out and you're dying hot and you're taking layer off, and then all of a sudden the clouds roll in and the wind kicks up and then you're freezing and you're putting your puffy back on. So you want to try to learn to balance your layers, manage your sweat. So as far as upper layers, I always have a really thin poly t-shirt. This is something I probably got at Walmart for like $10. It costs next to nothing. This is a very good option right here. This is a zip up. It's really easy to take on and off, and this is merino wool. And so merino wool is great at insulating, and if it gets wet, it'll still keep you warm. I think I picked this up at an REI garage sale because it had a hole in the sleeve. It's like a $50 thing. I got it for $4. Then I like this. I got this at REI garage sale too. It's a thin, it's kind of torn up obviously, but it works great still. It's a vented long sleeve hoodie basically. It's very, very thin. I hike in this all the time. It stops the wind. It's just a long sleeve with a hood. They're kind of hard to find, but they're really nice. And then when it gets really cold, I've got this fleece right here. I don't always bring this unless I look at the weather forecast first, and if I think I'm gonna be needing this, this really keeps me warm underneath my puffy. And then sometimes I'll layer, when I usually layer my upper, I'll start with like a sleeveless. So I'll start with the sleeveless, then I'll put a t-shirt over it, and then I'll put a long sleeve over that. And I can adjust my layers at any time based on how much I'm sweating, how cold it is, and whatnot. And sometimes if it's nice and sunny, I'll be down to a sleeveless and make sure I put sunscreen on though. And then if it gets really cold, I can just slap a couple layers on real quick. There's multiple different layers or multiple different styles of smart wool socks. These are actually the trekking socks, which are sort of mid-layer. Then they also have the hikers, which are a little thinner, and then they have the mountaineering ones, which are super thick and really warm. But make sure that you get your boots maybe a half size large for mountaineering boots if you're planned on, if your feet get really, really cold, or if you don't have insulated boots, then you're going to want to get some thick socks. So I always try to balance it based on the weather also, or which pair of boots I choose to wear, because I have usually 3 or 4 pairs. And then I've got a pair of long underwear, which are also poly. These are smart wool. I even picked these up at a garage sale, I think, too. And these are really, really warm. Usually I don't wear these very often, because as soon as I hike in these, I get hot. They're almost too hot to wear. So there's all that. That's insulation. Then next we're on to sun protection. A lot of people want to spend a lot of money on glacier glasses. Personally, my trick is I don't buy the cheapest. These are actually really cheap sunglasses, but they're not just sunglasses. These are polarized fishing glasses. So when you're out in the water, the fishers, and so you get glare off the water from the sun. And so they cover, what you want is something that covers the sides, and so you're not letting a lot of light in on the sides. You don't want like squared off glasses that allow a lot of light in. Snow blindness is a real thing, and it will hurt. Also, I bring a pair of goggles if I am expecting inclement weather, strong winds, snow, stuff like that. These come in extremely handy to be able to see when the wind is just blasting sideways ice pellets into your face. So, you know, once again, you look at the weather forecast before you decide whether to bring your. And when you're on the mountain, like a big mountain like Rainier or Baker, you just never know when a storm can blow in. So that's sun protection. I think I got a couple more things for sun protection. This is an Outdoor Research sun hat. I don't wear it very often, but it comes with this extra little thing for your neck. It goes right through the back strap like this, and it comes down over your neck on the back of the hat to protect you from the sun. It clips, it snaps to the top right here. In case some people like just to take a bandana maybe and put it underneath your hat, but this all stays together as one piece. That's pretty nice. And then, of course, you're gonna want sunscreen. And I usually have a little carabiner. I put it right on my pack right here. Every time I stop and take a break while I'm hiking on snow, especially on snow, and then usually in the sun too, even if there isn't snow. I put sunscreen on. So like as we're out there, we're gonna be reminding you guys, every time we stop and take a break, you wanna drink some water and hydrate, you wanna eat a snack, you wanna put some sunscreen on. And then along with that sunscreen, I bring, this is particular Carmex that you can get a million different kinds, but get something that has some SPF, at least 15, because the sun will chap your lips like crazy. It will just reflect off the snow. You'll get burnt lips, chapped really fast. I put sunscreen on underneath my neck, underneath my arms, inside my ears. I've got sunburn really, really bad inside my ears before, to the point of blistering, and it is not fun. It is not cool, and my forehead as well. That was probably like my first trip. Another one that I like is sometimes I get sunscreen that's like this. If I'm in a hurry, I don't have time to stop and put sunscreen on. I pop this out. It's just almost like yeah. And I can just, this one looks like it's almost dead, but I can just rub this on my face real quick, boom, and I have sunscreen on. And you'll see climbers all the time with, like, literally, they look like a ghost because their faces are completely white, but hey, when they get back, they don't look like a raccoon. So, sun protection, and then hydration. For hydration, I've got a standard, you know, reservoir basically, or a hydration pack with a tube. The problem with the tubes is a lot of the time when you're on the mountain, you're going to want an insulated tube. There's various different kinds. This is an Osprey. There's also Camelback. There's Platypus, and a couple others. The water will freeze inside your tube, and so the way to avoid that is getting an insulated tube, as well as you blow the water back into the reservoir so the water doesn't stay here. And sometimes it'll still freeze, and so I always have backup. I always have a Nalgene. If I need to, I can take water out of here and dump it into a Nalgene. I have it right here on my side. This pack actually has a little spot that takes a Nalgene right here. A lot of the Gregory packs have this, and there's a little loop you can put over so it doesn't fall out. It's really nice. And then some people, for electrolytes, they will bring like Noon tablets, powdered Gatorade, Crystal Light, whatever they want to flavor their water, or to get some potassium, some magnesium, some calcium. Those are all electrolytes, and you want to keep those in. They help avoid cramps and keep you hydrated. And then, of course, the N is for nutrition. I always carry some trail mix. And this is a special homemade trail mix I made.
I was about to ask if that's at the Nik Jensen.
This one's not the very best one. This is not homemade one. This is the Costco one, I think.
Oh.
But I do make my own trail mix. I'll buy I like to have a combination of sugar for quick energy, and also fat, like good fats, and nuts have a lot of fat in them, and then also protein. Almonds are really, really high in protein, so I have a combination of carbohydrates, proteins, and fat in my nutrition. So I'll bring bars like that. I don't know, I've got some candy bars and stuff, And then of course, you've got hydrated meals, dehydrated meals. This is lasagna or whatever. I don't eat those very often. Some people like those. I'd rather bring my own food and cook it. But so that's the nutrition. These are my 10 essentials. And then the 11th essential, baby wipes. They come in handy for a million different things. And a lot of people bring blue bags. They're really, really large. I go to the store and I buy a roll of doggy bags. And I can use as many as I want if I have to. Wrap up the doggy bags, and like if I'm worried that my bag's gonna break, I can put it into 3 doggy bags and like not worry about it, you know. And then I'll carry one of these bags, put it inside there, and then I'll carry a bigger Ziploc bag because I don't trust my own waste anywhere. And then I also get the Lay's Stacks potato chip, the plastic potato chip canister.
Pringles can.
And then after I'm done eating the potato chips, that's where my blue bag goes.
And you then offer those.
And then I say, hey, want some chips? No, I don't do that. But yeah, that way, like the Pringles cans, not so good. They're cardboard, they get wet, they'll fall apart. Not good to keep your poop in. Plastic, it's waterproof.
REI sells the really nice ones. Get the blue bags and buy the kits that REI sells.
Sure, you can do that too. Some places, some ranger stations will give you one. I have contacts, so I keep a little bag of fluid. Always keep that kind of stuff. I also keep a toothbrush and toothpaste in my little Ziplocs. Often I'll bring extra Ziplocs. I also have a solo charger here. This is a solar charger and a battery. It's a 10,000 milliamps batteries. I can have like 2 to 3 charges with my cell phone in here because I use my cell phone as my GPS these days. These two compared are about the same weight as a GPS, and my GPS app on my phone was $10. It's way cheaper than my actual GPS, which collects dust at home now. And I can layer maps on top of each other, so we can talk about different maps later. Also for insulation, I try to keep my items really, really light. I've got this, this is basically a buff. You can wear it a million different ways, inside out, but you can put it on like this and use it as a neck gaiter, pull it up over your face like this. You can pull it up over your head, use it to protect from wind, protect from sun so you don't get sunburnt. There's just a million different ways to wear it. It weighs next to nothing. And then I've also got, this is a Cyrus hat, which is very, very light. It's acrylic, not cotton. You can put this on, it protects my ears, but it also has, I think I put this on the right way, I'm not sure. But it also has a pull down face mask. So I can put this on and it pulls down out of the thing like this to protect against wind and stuff. It keeps me really warm. And it's very light, that's the most thing. And it covers like 2 items in one. So I don't have to carry a separate face mask and a separate beanie hat. A couple more insulation items that I carry. These aren't really insulating, I'll get to these later. But, I always have 2 pairs of gloves. I have a lighter pair here that I just, if it's really windy and my hands get cold while I'm hiking with my trekking poles or whatever, I have a light pair. And then I've got a waterproof pair. Some people like to bring 2 waterproof pairs. These are Gore-Tex. And these particular gloves I really, really love. It took me a long time to find gloves that I really like. These ones have like really good grip. A lot of the gloves you'll find have a leather palm and you'll feel like your ice axe and your trekking poles will slide in and out of your gloves, but these ones I found have a really good grip, and so I've stuck with them in my other gloves, collect dust. So yeah, then I've got, for some weather I use a rain hat. This is actually similar to a Seattle sombrero, but it's actually the Snoqualmie sombrero because it has fold out ear flaps to keep your ears warm. It's also Gore-Tex, stops the rain. I wear it on certain occasions. Look into a few more things here. Here's gaiters. These are the OR also. You'll notice I have a lot of OR gear. I really swear by them. There's a couple different kinds. These are the crocodiles, but they're not just the crocodiles. They're the next version up. They're called the crocodile expeditions. And the difference is there's a larger patch of cordura here. which prevents crampon rips. Your crampons are extremely sharp. You're going to be walking with them. Almost everybody gets a rip in their crampon or a rip in their gator from crampons at some point. With outdoor research, if you get a rip in your crampons from your gators, or ripping your gator from your crampons, you can take them into OR and they will give you a brand new pair of gators.
They just sent me a new pair.
No questions asked. You can just hand them across and be like, hey, these are ripped. They're like, oh, here, take a new pair. And they're like, you just walk out. So these are really expensive gators. I mean, you can see little areas here where I've stabbed them with my crampons, and they're still 100% waterproof. There's no holes through them. So I love these. Anytime I'm wearing crampons, I'll wear these. If I'm just going regular hiking, I have another pair that don't have the Cordura. See, here's another rip right there, and still didn't even go through the gator. If it was on this side, which is the standard gator material, which is still Gore-Tex, it would have went right through, and I'd have a gaping hole that I'd have to put duct tape on. So here's a couple more things. This is a pack cover to keep my pack dry, as dry as possible. Some people like really expensive ones. This one I got at Walmart for like less than $10. It really doesn't cost a whole lot. And they pretty much all are made of the same material. This is a tent. It's only a 3-season. It's a 2-layer. It weighs, with snow stakes, probably about 5 pounds. It works great. I've used it for 3 years. It might have a couple little holes in it, but not actually. It has like a couple holes in the mesh, not anything where I'm going to let water in. But take good care of it. It'll last a long time. Now I've got. We'll get into a few more things. Oh, here's a pair of pants. These are also ORs, so I can take them back if they ever rip or whatever. I like convertible pants. These are OR too, but. I'll either wear these if I'm going to be warm because they're very, very flexible. These are soft shell pants, and then these are convertible because I can switch to shorts anytime I get hot, and that's just awesome. I love being able to switch to shorts. It keeps my legs from overheating, sweating too much. And then sometimes while I'm up on the snow, I don't always bring these, but these are down booties. If I'm going up, every time I climb Rainier, I take 3 days. And so on my second day is a rest day, and I love to be able to walk around camp in my down booties. I don't have to put on my heavy-ass mountaineering boots and lace them up completely. They're really compact. They're not too heavy. I use a couple of Velcro straps to keep them compressed, really, really small. But once you open them up, they will puff up, and they'll keep your feet really, really warm. So yeah, there's that. Let's see, what else can we get into? I brought a couple different stoves. This is a reactor stove. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It burns, or it boils water in seconds, or literally minutes. A couple minutes and it boils this whole pot of water. This is a 1.7 liter. They also have a smaller 1 liter, which is really nice. Obviously, anytime you're doing that, you've got to bring fuel. I thought I brought fuel, but maybe I didn't today. But yeah, this screws right onto the fuel canister. You need fire in order to light it because it doesn't have a self-igniter like a jet boil. But this will smoke a jet boil any day of the week in a water boiling race. It's very, very nice. But also, I also use this stove right here. This is I use a little foam pad to keep to put my fuel on to keep it up off the snow because the fuel freezes very rapidly. And then this is a stove I got later on because this weighs probably 1/3 of that stove right there. This is the stove. It's very, very small. It's got a Soto Windmaster. It's this big right here, and it doesn't come with this piece. I special ordered this piece right here. But it comes with a smaller three-leg piece, but this is a 4-leg piece right here. It pops out like this. It screws onto the fuel canister. It weighs next to nothing. It's got a very large burner, and the flame comes up about this high. And it won't beat the reactor as far as boiling water, but it's very, very light and very efficient. And then I just got a Snow Peak titanium pot, and this is like a little frying pan. I can even cook a couple eggs in here if I wanted to. I can boil, this holds 1 liter of water, and the two go together, and they weigh next to nothing also. They're titanium, so they're just super light. So that's a light option. This stove is, I think, $80, and this was maybe, this set right here, I think is 50. So this set right here is 130. This thing costs 200. So, but I also got this at an REI garage sale. If you're lucky, I found this for 50 bucks at an REI garage sale. So, what's that? It's like an isobutyl propane mix, actually. Sometimes, yeah. So sometimes you'll get frost that forms around the fuel. And what I normally do is I'll put my gloves on, or sometimes I'll do it even barehanded. I'll put my hand around the fuel canister like this for a little while, and you can literally watch the flame rise as the frost around your fuel canister melts.
Yeah, and that's why.
Once you warm the fuel up, and that's what also the reason I use this.
Yeah, that's why you put that down. Don't put the.
I think it'd be a great idea to
on
invent
snow.
a fuel can koozie, just to slide your fuel can into. So, a couple more things. Oh, here's another piece. Poly underwear. These are awesome. These are the best. They can get wet. They dry out super fast in the sun. If anytime they get wet, I always have 2 pairs of poly underwear. Like the regular REI underwear that costs like $15 or $20 is not as good as these. It slides down, it bunches up. These are made by Ex Officio, and they're like $35 a pair, but I've never had anything more comfortable. I swear by these. I had to buy another pair, they were so good. Okay, a couple more items for snow. You're gonna want a shovel. This one's pretty small, it's a little bit lighter. It pops out, it has an extendable handle. Some shovel handles don't get this long. You're gonna use this in case of an avalanche, but mainly you're gonna be using this to dig out your camping area for your tent. You wanna, as you get to the snow, you need to flatten out your area for your tent. You're gonna be shoveling a lot of snow. Also, you use it to create ice blocks. You can chop out blocks of snow and basically build a small snow wall around your tent in order to block your tent from wind. So this is gonna really keep you a little bit warmer at night. And then I've got, I've got a bag of food. I keep this in a dry sack. This dry sack came in a package of 3 that I got from Walmart for like 10 bucks. It's just, it's a waterproof sack. Keep my food in there. I'm gonna get the harnesses a little bit later. This is another emergency. It's called an all-weather blanket. I don't always bring this, but it's much more durable than your standard emergency blanket. It does have a reflective side. I use this. It doesn't weigh too much. I'm very selective on what hikes or climbs that I bring this on, but it's great if it starts raining. I can use a couple pieces of string and string it to a couple of trees if I'm in a treed area, or I can use it to set gear on when I want to lay it out, set my gear on the snow without it getting soaked. And then of course, crampons. You don't always want to have a crampon. Some people have a crampon pack or package or pocket in their pack. I usually keep mine in this thing, but this thing is actually weighs probably nearly, I don't think this thing is close to a pound, these crampon bags, but it protects everything in my pack from getting holes in it because the crampons are sharp. One thing you wouldn't want to do is always take your crampons out at the end of your climb, let them dry out because they do rust. I don't take the best care of my tools, but I think I picked these up at an REI garage sale for maybe 30 bucks, and they regular go for 180. So look out for the sales. I'm the king of finding gear at cheap prices, so anytime you need to know where the next sale is, hit me up. And then when I get the sleeping arrangements, this is just a Thermarest pad. The R value on it is probably something around 2 or 3, 2.5, 3. The higher the R value is the insulation in your sleeping bag, the warmer you're going to be. It's going to keep you up off the snow and prevent you from getting cold at night. Then I also I use a compression sack for my sleeping bag. This is an Event. This is a Sea to Summit. It's got Event waterproof right here, fabric, and then this is also water resistant. It's basically a dry sack, a dry compression sack, similar to the one that I keep my clothes in. But this is a 15-degree down bag. It's a Marmot, also purchased at a garage sale. I think it's a $400 bag I got for $200. It comes so you're either going to get a synthetic bag or you're going to get a down bag. The down bag you're going to find is much warmer, but you don't want to get it wet. A lot of the newer bags have this down defender right here. This is only a 700 fill. A 900, 800 is a little bit better, but this is a down defender. It's more water resistant than most down bags. This is the Meteor. It's a 15-degree bag. I usually find that most women tend to get colder, and so you might want to get a 10-degree bag or a 0-degree bag. But the problem with that is it's also going to take up more space in your pack. It's going to be a little bit heavier. I personally, these bags, by the way, are designed to be worn or to be slept in with little to no clothing. You're going to stay a lot warmer if you strip down to base layer or just like underwear. You'll stay a lot warmer because there's more air around you that works as an insulating layer that keeps you warm. If you try to sleep in like 4 layers of clothes, you might find out that you'll be cold for some reason. It's weird. But yeah, so that's what I use. I didn't bring it, but also I have a tiny little inflatable pillow. That's nice. A lot of people will just roll their puffy up, use that for a pillow, or stuff one of their stuff sacks full of some soft clothing. Use that for a pillow. Below my sleeping pad, I always use a Z-Light. It keeps me up off the snow and adds extra R value. Plus it works as a great sit pad when I want to sit on the snow without getting my ass wet. Let's see. So when it comes to water filtration, there's a few different methods and schools of thought. Some people like the pumps. Pumps work great with a stove like this. You'll set your stove up, and you'll just start pour a tiny bit of water in here just to get it started, and then you'll just start packing snow in here. But then you'll also take your pump, and you can put the filter part of your pump right in there, and as the snow melts, you pump the water out. And then I carry this. This is a Nalgene canteen. This holds 3 liters, and it weighs nothing, and it takes up 0 space. It's like $10. And I can pump it. I usually pump this full even before my climb, and I'll leave it. I'll have every other thing like my bladder, my Nalgene, I'll have all that full of water, but I'll also have this full, and I'll leave it at camp. So as soon as I get back from my climb, back to camp, I have a full thing of water. I don't have to like break off. And the other thing some people do is they'll get a black trash bag, which is pretty light, throw that in your pack and shovel it full of snow, and then put some snow on top of it to weight it, and then the sun will actually melt a bunch of snow right inside that black plastic. And so when you get back to camp, you'll have a puddle of water inside there that you can just pump directly out, and so you let the sun melt your water for you. These things are just awesome though. They hold a lot of water. And
but the pumps can't freeze, right? It damages them to have them out in the winter.
I've never had a problem with that.
Just shake the.
I mean, every time I use.
I mean, they work, but they don't filter anymore. I thought like the ice crystals would damage the microchannels. So they
I always take the filter at the very end, and I will pump every last drop out of the filter. Every time I clean it, I'll empty the hoses, shake them out, and I separate every piece of the filter when I'm done using it. The other thing is, like, some filters do clog. I carry another one of these. This is a Platypus. It holds 2 liters right here, and I also have the Sawyer squeeze filter. This weighs next to nothing.
that they say you should not freeze.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never frozen it.
Instructions are make sure it doesn't freeze.
Okay, I've never frozen this, but the bags that this thing comes with are weak, they break, and so I got a Platypus, and the thread pattern is almost the same. It's not perfect. It screws right on here, and I can just squeeze water right through here once the water's melted. I mean, the snow's melted, obviously. And if you have a thread problem issue, I figured it out. You just take a piece of medical tape, wrap some medical tape around there, and it works like Teflon. You just screw it right on and it makes a tight seal. And then when I'm done, you just blow all the water, excess water out of here so nothing freezes in there. This weighs nothing. I can take this and fill it up in a running stream along the trail really quick, screw this on and squeeze it into either my Nalgene or my my bladder, and it works almost as fast as a pump. It's very, very quick, and it weighs nothing. A pump usually weighs over a pound plus, and this thing weighs like only ounces, like a fraction of a pound. So, and then also some people use a steri pin. That takes quite a while to process a very small amount of water, but I don't know, each to their own. You definitely want to keep this thing sealed up in order to keep and then you don't want to ever mix this. I use this for dirty water. I don't want to use it for clean water again or drink out of it, just in case. So then you're also going to want to carry some utensils. I carry a long plastic spoon. You find that they reach all the way down into a Mountain House bag without getting your hands sticky. They're really, really, really light, and they don't break either. They're super flexible. And then I have a collapsible. Right here, I can make oatmeal. It's really easy. And I have a same thing with a cup. These are made by Sea to Summit.
They sell cheaper ones at the pet store.
Really?
Is that like
Sure, yeah, absolutely. You know, experiment, you know, experiment. Definitely experiment with your gear. You're not all gonna have one of these, but this is a picket. You're gonna learn how to use it later. I always keep a double runner, nylon runner at all times, girth hitch to my picket. This is for building snow anchors. It works for a fixed line, a running belay, which is an anchor system that you set up along the way when you find sketchy routes on like very steep terrain and snow. You'll be pounding several of these, or the leader will pound several of these in a row, clip a beaner in here, which will clip into the rope, and so it will keep you safe on very steep, slick terrain. Or also you can put the runner through the middle point and extend it and make a dead man anchor and bury this thing in the snow, and it works very, very well. You will use this in the Z pulley setup. I think I purchased this one used, or maybe somebody even gave it to me. Technically, I don't think it even had one of the holes. It didn't even have here, and so I actually drilled my own hole and made it into a usable picket for everything, and it works great. It's extremely strong for once it is used as a dead man anchor. So there's that. Trekking poles. I personally don't like trekking poles that much, but I carry one for a selfie stick. Sometimes. I put my GoPro on it sometimes for a selfie stick. But if you have bad knees, I recommend carrying poles. If you're going to be going up very steep terrain and you're not bringing an ice axe on certain climbs, which most every climb you're going to bring your ice axe. It's a mandatory item. But yeah, these are nice poles because they're Z poles. They're so small that I can literally put it inside my pack if I need to. These are also, they have one area that's extendable like this. They're super light. They have, I always have snow baskets. Yeah, they're just collapsible. And so these are like more expensive poles, but they're really, really handy. I put these literally inside my pack a lot.